Good evening and welcome to another edition of Motorsport Atlantic. As you know, the program is brought to you by the members of the Atlantic Sports Car Club and presented for your entertainment and information about things motorsport. This evening's program is going to be specifically on a very important contest that we had at Atlantic Motorsport Park this past season, the Econocolour, Canon and Vivitar race photo contest, which was an exciting thing for all of those who took part, and of course it was pretty exciting also for a lot of the race drivers and such that were around the racetrack because they were managing to get their pictures taken considerably more regularly than has been. The evening that we had to make the presentations, and by the way we gave away over $2,500 worth of prizes, took place at the spot you're seeing, which is Dudley's of the City Club on Argyle Street in Halifax. That's our little train going by. That makes it a pretty motorsport-oriented spot. We had a good group of people there, 50 or 60 people, and along with all of the people who entered the contest. We've got some of the prizes in the contest shown on your screen here now. That was third prize, actually, the Vivitar Tech 35 camera. All of the people from Econocolour and Canon and Vivitar, of course, were at the evening, along with the winners. And these prizes here, that's second prize, Canon AE1 camera with a very good Vivitar lens. That went to a very lucky gentleman. We'll be showing you some of the pictures that were the winners in the contest. That prize that you're sitting looking at there now is worth something in excess of $1,300, including all of the other gadgets and lenses and whatnot that went with it. I hope people are involved and interested in this photo contest. We had an awfully good evening, and we'll be having a gentleman along with me a little later on to take a look at some of these pictures, and we'll be showing you the trophy presentations themselves. Lots of people had fun. It was too bad if you missed it, and you certainly had a good time if you were there. We'll be going at this point right into the presentations themselves. Paul Matter from Canon Canada and Peter Cullinan from Vivitar Canada. You gentlemen come up and give me a hand. Hi, Paul.
How's it going, John? How are you?
I'm fine. Peter Cullinan, are you here? No. Come on, Peter. I realize that everybody's having a good time. I'd like to thank Dudley's for the good punch and the nice hors d'oeuvres and whatnot. And thank particularly, we'll hear this many times this evening, but particularly to John Abbas of Econocolour for supporting this event this year. And last year, I might mention. We'll keep it fairly short and sweet. The cameras are rolling. I would like to call the winners in the photo contest at this point, and we'll start with third prize, Mr. Ralph Rosaire. Ralph, are you with us? Rosaire, sorry. Third prize is a Vivitar Tech 35 camera.
Thanks very much. I hope you have fun with this. Oh, well, I'm sure I will. Yeah. Sounds very exciting.
It's a big snapshot camera, and you're going to have a ball around the house.
Enjoy that, and I hope you have more contests.
Yeah, we will.
We will.
Yeah. I'll be here for a shot, Ralph.
Stay here, Ralph. Second prize was won by a gentleman who worked awfully hard in the past year and last year, too. Robert Scott Gale. Come on up here and receive second prize. Robert, congratulations. Shake these gentlemen's hand. And don't go away. We're a little confused, actually, because the photo contest, we have third prize, second prize, and first prize, and then a grand prize. And that's what's gotten us confused. Okay, first prize in the contest, not to mention grand prize, is a gentleman by the name of John Clark, who happened to be in the right place at the right time. John, come on up here. Yes, and that is right. Give that to him. Shuffle all this stuff around. Okay, John. John, congratulations.
Congratulations, John. Canon AE1 with the Vivitar 2885. Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, look at it.
We will get this straightened out sooner or later, folks. Grand prize. We should maybe make this more sensible next year. Grand prize, a gentleman again who worked awfully hard to get what he did. Robert Scott Gale, congratulations.
Paul's got it.
Paul's got it.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Grand prize winner of a Canon T70 and a Vivitar 70-210 Series 1 zoom lens. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank
I
you.
think there's a few other things there too, Paul.
Yes, we're not done yet.
With that goes a 60 mil. No, with that goes a custom gadget bag, a 50 mil Canon 2.8 or f2 lens, Paul, or 1.8 lens, and Vivitar Pro Pack, including filter and all kinds of things. The whole value of the prize is roughly $1,500. And congratulations, that was well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Again, once again.
Stay up here. Paul Matter from Canon would like to have a few words.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that was involved in the photo contest this year. Mostly Econocolour camera stores. They did a heck of a job. And without them, there wouldn't be a race photo contest. And I'm sure all the race drivers appreciate it also. So let's have a big hand for Econocolour camera stores. And now back to John.
Peter, do you have a few words to say?
Just a couple. I'd like to thank Terry Waterfield of Wambout and Waterfield for judging the contest with us. He's been a great help and a great support to both Vivitar, Canon, and Econocolour. He donates his time free, along with John Kirk, the supporter and manager of the track, who got us involved in this, and of course all the photographers who are out there taking photographs, and the people who support Atlantic Motorsport Park, because without them, we wouldn't have a contest either. So Econocolour and Atlantic Motorsport Park, thank you both very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's our program for this evening. Be sure to get into that good punch that's been provided by Dudley's, and I hope everybody has a very good evening. Okay, that was the end of our photo contest. About 10 days ago down at the City Club on Argyle Street. We're just showing a few shots of the prizes actually, and in a few moments we'll be showing you the actual pictures that won these great prizes for the Econocolour, Canon, and Vivitar photo contest. I've got a gentleman with me this evening who we've just seen on camera, and we'll see again in just a moment, who was one of the originators of the photo contest and who's been a very great supporter of the racetrack and working with us and being out at the racetrack and being around and helping and organizing, that kind of thing. At this point, I'd like to welcome Mr. Peter Cullinan from Vivitar Lenses to Motorsport Atlantic. Peter, welcome into the program.
Thank you, John. It's nice to be here.
We had a really good evening down there at Dudley's, didn't we?
We had a good evening and a good summer. It's 2 in a row now.
I'd like to apologize for some of the audio problems we had on that tape at the earlier part of the program, but I guess people could hear what was going on. We had the winners, of course, of the contest and all of the sponsors and a lot of the supporters of the track, and I think we should probably go through some of these pictures and show people the winners, and maybe we can explain a few things about the photo contest itself.
All right.
Peter has a list of the prizes. I don't know, I think we can probably get a shot of this from that other camera. What we have here is the 4th prize that was won by Ralph Rosaire. This shot I'm just holding up, it looks like it's going a little uphill. Of course, that's Jack Canfield's car. And Peter, what was the prize here?
The prize was $200 worth of film and photo finishing from Econocolour. Now that means roughly 20 rolls of 24 exposure film and all the processing included. Anybody out there taking photographs can appreciate how many memories that's going to bring them with a prize like that. It's a nice photograph.
It's an excellent,
it's a lovely photograph.
It's an excellent photograph. We've got the other prize winners here with us, and we might as well just go through these. Peter, perhaps you could explain 3rd prize while I've got this shot up.
One of the many motorcycle entrants that we had. The judges, and myself included, felt because of the tightness that the photographer achieved in getting a moving bike at those kind of speeds, he did well. And he got a nice Vivitar autofocus camera. Not that he needs it, because he's very sharp with that, but autofocus can give you a lot of pleasures in and around the home, and that's once again by a Vivitar Tech 35. Robert Scott Gale took that picture from what I remember and what I see here. And he also, as you'll see coming up, won 1st prize. The man's got a lot of talent.
Robert has a lot of talent, and he did an awful lot of work.
Yeah.
And I might mention that some of these, we had a heck of a job doing the judging on this contest. There were a lot of very good quality pictures for this contest this year.
You'll notice by this one, when it gets on the screen, that the contest was not limited to entrants in a racing field only. The gentleman who took this is also a racer. His name is John Clark. He and his wife both race at the park every summer, and he happened to arrive early one day on a rainy morning. I was there setting up, or helping you set up, and I remember the rainbows, but John was quick enough to grab his camera and take a beautiful photograph outlining pit row.
I might mention I was there that day, and I went around with my camera equipment, and I tried to get a good picture of this full double rainbow, but I just couldn't manage to get the picture that John did, and I'd like to congratulate him. That's probably one of the better pictures that I've ever seen of our racetrack.
And he ended up with that Canon E1 with the 2885 on it by Vivitar.
That's certainly a worthwhile prize. Now we're up into
The winner.
the winner,
Yeah.
Robert Scott Gale.
Yeah. This photograph is hard to achieve. He's got a nice foreground and background blur. It's called panning. With the 101 car by Jeff Wright.
Jeff Wright.
Sorry, Jeff Wright, moving at horrendous speeds around the corners and straightaways. It's a photograph that we all liked very much. All the judges took to that one immediately as being the #1 spot, and consequently, Robert Scott ended up with a brand new Canon T70 camera that you see advertised on TV in the Vivitar Series 1, 2.870 to 210. With a bunch of other goodies. The photograph deserved it, and if people watching remember last year's contest, we had a similar type thing. Panning is the answer in racetrack photography. It gives that lovely...
It's usually the effect of speed.
Yeah.
I think probably Robert has, and as a matter of fact, he did mention to me that he had learned some things from the Motorsport Atlantic television programs with Terry Waterfield.
Yes. And if anybody can teach Terry Waterfield, certainly can do
Terry
that.
certainly can teach
Yeah.
when it comes to photography. We've got a number of the other pictures from the contest here. As I mentioned before, the judging was a pretty complicated process because it was difficult. We had to throw away some pictures, unfortunately. It would have been nice if everybody had been able to win a prize.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Well, we'll have to work on that one. That would be a lot of prizes, I'm afraid. We'll just show a few of these pictures here, and maybe Peter, you're the photographer in the group today. Perhaps you can mention some of the things that some of these people have done in these shots.
This one we all liked a lot, and indeed the author of the photograph can learn a little bit, hopefully next year. I know he was at Dudley's and he looked at his picture, and by tightening up the photograph and bringing in the motorcycle a little closer and eliminating some of the background, that photograph could have been a winner, because it has a lot of potential, good action, good movement, and a good exposure. It's just the messy background. So a little tighter, and that guy could have done well.
Yeah, it was. That was something too that I might mention, is that people should concern themselves. The contest was concerned with motorsport in general, and obviously some people have gone out and taken. There were a good number of motocross shots that were taken in the contest this year, and there's certainly a lot of real good action, and people could try to shoot for that.
Well, here's an action photograph now, John. If it comes across the screen, yes, it does. I see it on a monitor there. You'll notice the front left-hand driver's wheel up off the ground.
Off
It
the ground.
looks a good 4 or 5 inches up there. That's obviously going into a corner, one of the key spots in racing photography. The photograph is sharp. It's very tight, but there was 4 others that were just
there were lots of other pictures that were as good as this one.
Sure.
This is an example probably of a photographer going into a spot and looking at some particular bit of action, and then waiting until he gets what it is that he wants.
Exactly. Here's another pan shot taken from a higher angle. Panning is difficult, once again, to get the proper, make sure you get the front and rear of the car into the same photograph. This one, if you remember the first one that came up on the screen of the winning photographs, you'll notice there was a nice foreground using the daisies or dandelions as a natural color additive. This is good, but the foreground in a shot can make it just as well as the background and the sharpness of the actual photograph. It's a good action photo. However, it left just that little bit out.
I could mention that picture was taken during the Molly Slip weekend, and that is our old friend Claude Gou driving that car from Quebec. And he provided lots of good action for photographers at the track. I'm seeing the names in some of these, and which I won't mention on the camera, but I'm seeing a lot of familiar names come up in the back of these pictures that I'm showing.
It seems we had a lot of regulars out there and every
Yeah.
weekend taking photographs. Motorcycle shot. Personally, motorcycles are my favorite. I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember the one that came in second prize, it was a lot tighter.
So, yeah.
And the exposure here is still good. We're panning, good action. But I would have preferred to see the entire motorcycle in a shot like that, or closely cropped as we saw, as the photograph that took second place or third place. I'm not sure which. Good color. Everything's going right for it.
We've got more here. We've got, we're back into the motocross shots.
They're all good. I have to say that right up front. Like, all these photographs are excellent. What we lack here is, once again, that tight bringing in on the action itself as it's happening.
A little too much foreground.
A little too much a little too much background. Now, you heard me mention foreground before in some of the shots where it's more important. But here we have two motorcycles kind of left out stranded. If the author had have brought it in just a little bit tighter, and there was something else going on there, those bikes seem to be a little bit dormant, it could have come up a little higher in the ranking then.
Mind you, that picture does have that photograph does have a picture of the Econocolour billboard in the background, which is a big bonus.
That's nice to see, yes. That is nice to see.
Darn right.
Yeah.
Here's another shot we've got of well, a car that we had a shot of before, but it's a different shot altogether.
Once again, panning. It's easy to see by the blurred movement in the background and the foreground. However, with the flowers that are ever present at the track, that added that speck of color.
Just that little bit of color makes a big difference.
Sure does. And you'll notice on this particular one, versus the winner or the one that took second place, the car here is tight. Although it's showing movement by panning, there's nowhere for the car to go because it's reached the edge of the frame. I don't know on a TV screen if you're going to see it all as it sits there.
I was just going to mention that, is that we do have some problem with the TV screen. We're showing you the actual entries themselves, and they're on 8x10 glossy paper, and it's just a little difficult. Sometimes the TV screen doesn't bring all of it. We've got the camera back a wee bit, but the car in this shot actually is just a tad too tight.
It's nice to have room. When you're moving, you've got to go somewhere.
We've got more of them here.
More than there, another bike shot, number 13. I remember that fella. An extremely good driver. A little tighter. That's where a zoom lens, a 70 to 210, zoomed in its maximum position, could come in handy. And then you'd be able to see how close that knee is actually to the ground.
Right.
And it's got good exposure. I can see the driver's face. He doesn't look like he's in too much pain or anything like that. So.
No, he's still standing up on two
and
wheels.
He's still standing up on two wheels.
That's important.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice photograph.
The get an idea looking at some of these pictures about the different areas that people got into, and I do notice that a lot of the photographers are going into areas that aren't normally spectating areas. They're going into different areas to try and get a different angle of the racetrack, which is a good idea.
And some of the photographs I've seen, John, are areas that I don't quite know how they got down into.
Well, I know that at least one of the pictures, or at least two of the pictures that were in the contest, I'm sure that the gentleman who took the pictures went off into the woods and spent the whole afternoon there, because I know the area that he was in, and it's impossible to get to, and it's impossible to leave while racing is going on.
Exactly.
So people are encouraged to do that, certainly. Get into a good area, as long as they're careful and don't ever cross the racetrack and that type of thing. Another motorcycle shot here. That's gone.
Gone.
They have a tendency to disappear.
That's right. Lovely photograph.
This picture is similar to one that we were looking at before, a different car.
Taken from a high angle, obviously, possibly the tower. Or I noticed a lot of campers at the track this year, people up on top of their campers shooting down into it. Once again, all the photographs very well exposed, pan shot. That's basically the only way you're going to get something moving that quickly. You can see the driver's face. Is something I like to see in a photograph.
Right inside the helmet.
That's obviously showing me that the photograph is well exposed from all aspects. But I like to see, this is difficult because there is no foreground. Perhaps a little cropping after the photograph was taken could have helped here. We're on a downward slant. It is showing some movement, but not enough. There's just something missing from it there.
Perhaps an idea with that one would be would be like a wide-angle lens with a couple of cars in a shot. If you're going to use that,
If you're gonna use
angle,
the top
shoot
angle,
from,
sure.
shoot from that
Sure.
from that area. But again, it gives people the idea of how many different spots that were gone into, and the way the angles people were shooting from, and hopefully people watching the program tonight will get an idea of you know, where they're going wrong and where they're going right.
This is a good action indicative of racing. To a novice, it looks like that car is going to come right aboard the side of the first little, what was that, 100? That's a rabbit.
I think that's the rabbit.
That's a rabbit,
That's,
yeah.
Gunther Schmidt,
Yeah.
who was an
And
old
that's
hand at Atlantic Motorsports Park.
Just for the people reading, isn't that John and Debbie Clark's car in the background?
That dark colored car in the
The
background, number 27, is John and Debbie Clark's, and of course John was the winner of the second prize in the contest.
Exactly. So he's participating in everything out at the track. That is a nice photograph. I particularly like it. It is cropped properly, very tight. However, what can I say, however? That had to deserve a very high honorable mention. And I think it was one of the last photographs that we illuminate before choosing the 4 winners. It's very well done. I do like it.
It is a well done shot.
Yeah.
Get into a little more motocross things. I hope we're not going too quickly for people, especially if you're watching to see your own pictures, but we've got a great stack of pictures here, and we'd really like to get through as many of them as possible to give people an idea of what type of pictures are being entered in this contest. Now, this was a particularly good shot. Everybody liked this one.
It hung right in there right to the very end. Nice and tight, easily readable. You can see who's racing there. You know it's a motocross by the handlebars, and it's very well done. You can see the face somewhat. The problem, I think, there is not in the photographer's problem, but the gentleman's protecting his eyes wearing glass, and only proper filters can filter that out so that you could actually get in there. It's well done. It's nicely, tightly cropped, and it is showing action with somebody close on his tail. You can see the other helmet coming in the background. The motorcycle that won the competition, it was a toss-up between the two of them, from what I remember
There
correctly.
were, as I remember when we were actually doing the judging, that there were several that were kind of a toss-up. Well, which one are we going to pick?
Exactly.
And unfortunately, you do have to choose at some
Yeah.
point or other that you will pick this picture as opposed to the other one. And we couldn't begin to get into all the specific reasons why during the short time we've got for tonight.
It's pretty hard to say why this one didn't win as well.
There's a lot of action there.
There's a lot of action.
That's one busy guy on that motorcycle.
Sure is. It's nicely done. There's no disturbing backgrounds. Nicely exposed. What can I say, John? It's hung right up there with the other 4 until the very last cut. And even that took a long time to make the last cut.
There's, I think we're sort of getting short on time. We'll have to go through we'll just go through 2 or 3 more of these, and then we'll.
This one I can safely say was illuminated because of the foreground background noise. It is good. It's nice to see somebody getting into different spots once again, as you mentioned.
That's right.
But the tree seems to stick out a little too much, and a lot of sky and et cetera.
Essentially, what we have here is a portrait.
Yeah.
And it's not quite, shall we say, racy enough?
I suppose. Yeah, that's a good term.
That's reasonable enough. One more shot is all the time we've got for. This is the shot that I was saying that the gentleman got into a forbidden area and had to stay there all day. Certainly got an interesting aspect of the racetrack.
It's a good angle. And as I said, watch your foreground. It can work for you or work against you. And in this particular case, I feel with the slanted horizon and I know he's coming downhill, but the angle there, he worked hard to get into that spot. However, it just didn't cut it. If perhaps there was a car closer on once again, John Clark's tail coming over the hill, there could have been something happening, but this could have been a roller coaster ride. There's just not enough action here.
That's all the pictures we've got time for. Unfortunately, there are several more, but we don't really have time to get into too many more. Peter, any thoughts on the contest in general this year?
We're going to do it again next year to some degree. I'd like to see more photographers out participating in what's going on. I'd like to see more people out. We had good success for the last 2 years, and I would like to thank you people at Atlantic Motorsport Park and this TV station for helping us out with this.
Well, we've certainly had a good season, partially because of this photo contest. I think we've got a lot of people interested and involved. We're completely out of time. People are waving their fingers and saying, no, no, no more. We could go on for an hour. I'd like to thank Peter Cullinan from Vivitar Lenses for his support of the photo contest this season, and for your time today in this program, and your very worthwhile critiques on some of these pictures. Thanks very much, Peter.
Nice to be here. Thank you, John.
It's all the time we've got for Motorsport Atlantic tonight. Hope you'll watch us next week. And I've got one short little message here. I forgot. The CASC Atlantic Region AGM is at Keddy's in St. Margaret's Bay Road, November 23rd and 24th. Be sure to watch the CTV program. Live It Up is showing some rally stuff on Monday, November the 26th. And one other thing, as of Friday of this week, I'd like to say happy birthday to Colin King, our coordinator for the Motorsport Atlantic program. It's all the time we got. Thanks very much tonight.